What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another live edition of Backstop Banter. Michael, how are we doing on this fine evening? I know that I'm a little snowed in over here in New York.
Up in New York, you are. It's quite crazy. Here in Kentucky, got a little bit of I'll say a coating. I actually did leave a print when I walked outside today to my car. And then I heard you say that you've been out shoveling all day. I'm like, what in the world are you doing? Then I forgot,
I don't know about
man is in New York. How much snow did you get?
See, I don't know the exact amount we got, but I was just watching, like the halftime show right now, and of course the local news and everything comes on. Mm-hmm. I think, parts of New York got I saw something like 25 inches. Like we got hammered.
Dude, what?
We got a lot of snow here.
Wow.
I mean, I don't think we were in the 25. I think we were in like the 16 area, which is still a lot. Don't get me wrong, but shout out the parents for having a snowblower and a four-wheeler, so I don't have to actually shovel too much. I just have to shovel the walkway,
Whoa, hold up now, pause the show.
What?
You only had to shovel the sidewalk? Because the way you said it is like, man, I've been shoveling.
No, that is Michael. I said, quote to you. I said, and I quote, I just got inside from shoveling. You were the one that came over here thinking I just shoveled the entire Empire State Building.
I mean, I just come in from shoveling. That sounds like, it was quite hard. So my bad for assuming a little bit. What's up, Cheesehead? Welcome to the show. Thank you for being on here. Cheesehead, real quick, if someone says, I just got in from shoveling, do you think it lasted more than 2 minutes or less than 2 minutes? Let's be honest.
Whoa. Maybe I got a longer walkway here, Michael.
Okay, let's just start out here. How long did you shovel?
Let's see. I probably shoveled for a solid 25 minutes. And then I helped my dad with the snow plowing with the four-wheeler.
Oh, so you rode a four-wheeler for quite a long time.
Well, listen, it's still more. It's better than nothing, as they say. I'm just saying.
I ain't gonna lie. I'm so lazy. My dad bought me a leaf blower to take care of my road, just to blow the snow off.
Michael, I'm done with you. Just for that.
You know what?
Just for that, I'm absolutely done.
Let's just be honest. We know neither one of us are very good at hard labor. So what we got to do to pay the bills is do a few announcements.
Michael, first of all, I don't know what you're saying because I'm clearly a gym rat if you can't tell by my wonderful physique. But on that note of paying the bills, as I always like to say around here, first up, make sure you go over to mybookie.ag. We got Thursday Night Football going on right now. We even got Saturday football going on this week with the NFL Network. Got some good games going on. MyBookie's always doing great things for us. I always go back to week 1 of the NFL. The Chiefs had to lose by, I believe, 56 points in order for you to not win money. Now, if you weren't very confident in that bet, I don't really know what to tell you. So make sure you go over to mybookie.ag, use promo code USN100 to double your first deposit up to $1,000. And now, Michael, of course, like I always say as well, when you win all of your money, you then go over to teespring/store/unwrapped and you buy some of our merch. You absolutely look at that. Look at that beautiful mug. You can be sipping hot cocoa out of a beautiful unwrapped white and gold mug.
Yeah.
A sweatshirt, posters. Listen, if you want it, we probably have it. And since you're such a fantastic bettor, you then go over to rxhemp.com and use code rxhemp. Yeah, you might have never actually done it either, man. I wonder, your record's fantastic.
That's right.
But with all that money, you go over to rxhemp.com and use code rxhemp-USN to save you 10% on your entire order. They got the premium CBD products over there. So if you're a little sore, like I might be from a long day of shoveling or, 25 minutes.
Thank you for saying long day. Thank you.
From shoveling or doing anything during the crazy winter season, make sure you head over there as well. Got some great products. But, Michael, this is a very special episode of Backstop Banter, if I say so myself, and that is because we have a guest. And now, see, I would introduce it, but I don't feel right introducing him for the simple fact I'm not country enough to do it.
What do you mean country? Man. I mean, let's be honest. I am pretty country. But it is very special to me because it is one of my alums from Alloy College where I went to college at, and also really loved his dad. He was the dean of the boys' dorms, and me and him hit it off pretty good. Actually, the first way we hit it off, his dad was setting up in his office, and I had to be in there for a bad reason. But he had all these bobblehead action figures. And, of course, if you've ever noticed underneath my Kentucky, all these Cincinnati ones, me and him hit it off from right there from day one. But now I've got to go on to know a little bit of his son here, and we'll go ahead and bring him on here. Dalton Cornett, a alum from Alliswood College, also playing right now for the Lexington Legends. Dalton, welcome to the Backstop Banter.
Great to be on here, guys. I'm glad to join you.
Now listen, we're gonna be honest here. Is there a little internet delay? Absolutely, but that is also the absolute beauty of doing things live. So we're gonna get through this. Exactly. This is real back and forth right here. We're gonna get through this. We're gonna have a wonderful interview, if I say so myself. Country Mike. Maybe I always say my boy Mike or Michael coming.
Please say Michael. I'm not that old.
No. I'm saying Country Mike from now on. You are officially Country Mike.
It happens. You know what? I'm going to throw this out here, even though this is on live TV, and I'm so mad at myself even thinking it and saying it. But I dated a girl once that went to Western Kentucky University, and her friends actually called me Squirrel Boy because one time before I got off the phone with her, I said I was going squirrel hunting, and those city slickers were like, "Squirrel? Oh, it's the Squirrel Boy." I'm like, "No, this ain't happening now. We can't do that."
City? Wow, how dare you disrespect us city people over here? Unbelievable. But let's get into the important things, Michael.
Let's go.
Why don't you go on with your questions as we'll go back and forth, asking.
Sounds good. Squirrel Boy from Josh. I guess we didn't pop that up there. Thank you, Josh. I appreciate that. Like I said, I can't believe I shared that information. Some things should not be said. Dalton, again, thank you so much for being on here. Actually, what even got me even realizing that you were playing for Lexington Legends, even though I live in Kentucky and see that, is one of our writers, Moose, wrote an article about you back during the season for y'all. And I was like, hey, I know that name. And I got to looking into it. So if you don't care, let's just go ahead and start off. Tell us a little bit about your background from day one. When were you playing? What was your first glove like? Who did you love as a kid growing up? Because me, it's the King Griffey Jr. Tell us about your background in loving baseball.
So my dad actually, played professional baseball also. You knew that.
Yes.
So he got me started at a young age, actually 2 years old. Then I just fell in love. Then I started watching King Griffey Jr. Also, like you said, and tried to mock everything he done. Same thing, same bat and stance. Still this day, they do the same thing. So, so I kind of just, went from there.
Okay. Now, of course, I know your position. Tell us what position you play, how long you played that, any other positions. We're going to dive into your brain here, just so you know. We're going to get to know you quite well.
So in pro ball, I was a catcher, but in college, I also play center field and play short too. So I kind of move all around the field. I actually played every position in college, every single position. So
wow.
Oh, Mr. Utility player over here. That's the things that we like to see.
I played every position, I was the Bugs Bunny of my team. I pitched, went out the field, caught it.
That's that little subtle flex right there where they ask you where you want to play and you say, listen, just give me a glove and I'll handle the rest.
Well, speaking of which I think is crazy, but at the same time, I love it too. How many different gloves do you have then? Because, you've got the pitcher glove, you got the first baseman glove, the outfielder's glove. How many gloves do you actually own?
Oh, I'm going to say with all my catchers, it's probably 10.
Oh, wow.
10.
Oh, yeah.
See, Michael, this is how I know I was absolutely terrible at sports, because I don't think I owned 10 gloves in the time I was 2 years old to now.
Oh, well, I could see that, just to be honest with you. Of course, me, I only had
disrespect.
I'm sorry. I only had 2 gloves. I was a pitcher and I'm left-handed, so every time I ever played, I had to be on first base. Like, it was, hey, you're better at first base, but you're left, you automatically have a curve, so you got to throw a couple innings, even if you don't even get out of the inning. So I had 2 gloves, but that's all I ever needed. So, all right, Tony, go ahead with the next.
Yes,
wait. We have to bring this up first.
Oh God,
Josh,
I don't think. Josh, if you mean the 5 gloves that you used in like MLB The Show or something like that, maybe.
Josh
I
Lee is
refuse
actually wearing gloves. He's lost one of his actual glove.
Yes,
he has one pair without.
Yes, you're right. Now, you mentioned, at the beginning of this, your dad playing professional sports and things like that. What is it like having your dad, by your side this entire time? You always hear the good, the bad. What's the, is there pressure or following in his steps? You think of, a team that we're going to get into later on in this stream is actually the Toronto Blue Jays with, they have a bunch of second generation players with Calvin Biggio, Bo Bichette, Vlad. So what is it like is there pressure in it, or, are you just kind of enjoying yourself because, you kind of have that mentor and you know what it's going to be like?
Right. Well, I've been blessed with, with a great support system with both my mom and my dad. There has been pressure with my dad, just because he's been to that level before.
With my dad.
And also playing under him is, it can have its ups and downs, just like any father and son. But at the end of the day, obviously, he's doing what's best for me, and he's made me to the player I am today. So, it's actually been great. Can't say anything about it.
So what I'm hearing is he may be watching you on this right now, right? That's why we're hearing nothing but positive stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That's right.
Well,
yeah.
Next thing, because you say something bad, next thing you know, your phone's turned off, and there's just a whole lot of things. We're not trying to get anybody in trouble here.
I can see Coach Corner saying, "Son, I need you to come over here and run some polls right now, just because of what you said on national, whatever it's not TV, but national internet here." So, Dalton, with this year being as crazy as it has with COVID-19, COVID, whatever you want to call it, coronavirus, how has that affected this year, not only as teams playing, but also like your everyday training, your spring training, even like right now? Because I think I even seen one of your videos on Facebook. You might have been training at Alice Lloyd right now.
Mm-hmm. Right. So with COVID, MLB has changed a lot here in the last little bit. I don't know if you guys have been keeping up with that, but it's changed,
just a little bit. I mean, we have our own show about it.
So, yeah, just a little bit. So I'm lucky enough to live on Alice Lloyd College campus, and so I get the facilities to train at. Most people don't have that opportunity, to train at the facilities due to COVID. But I have free reigns to train wherever I need at school.
Now, Mike, I've always been kind of curious about, the training for baseball, because you look at other sports, it's always, a lot of weightlifting and things like that. And for me, it's almost like in baseball, you kind of want to be more flexible. You look at some of the bigger, stars in today's game, you look at Aaron Judge and like the taller people and stronger people like that. It almost seems like they get injured more. What is baseball training like? Is it lifting? Is it, running a lot? Is it just you're focusing on your swing? You're focusing on, throwing? What really goes into, technical baseball training?
So there's a lot that goes into it. All those things you mentioned do go into, training for baseball. For my training, I do lift weights. I hit and throw pretty much every day. I try to stretch. I'm not very flexible, but I try. I try to stretch and stay loose. But also, learning from some of my teammates in pro ball. I know some of them. So during the season, your body can't take the pound of the lifting all the time because you play so many games. So they basically just do bands and yoga to try to get their body loosened up and ready for the game.
I want to ask a question as I was turning. I wasn't being rude, but you were talking about having your other players. How was it having this guy on your team? And I am super jealous about that. If you couldn't see that, that was Brandon Phillips. If you're a Cincinnati Reds fan, you absolutely love this guy. So go ahead, Dalton.
So Brandon he's a character. I love Brandon. The best teammate I've ever had. He just brings life to the dugout.
Oh yeah.
We're still really good friends to this day. We talk all the time. So it was unreal playing with him, learning everything from him.
I'm just saying, if you're ever bored and you want to just give them a text real quick and say, listen, there's these two people I know have this show. They might want to talk to you, every once in a while. Feel free. Shameless plug on my end, absolutely. But, you got to do these things every once in a while.
I'm just going to say it. If he ever looked at his Twitter handle or his messages, he'd have like 15 of them from me anyway. So that's all I'm saying. It's definitely in there for Brandon to get on the show.
See, the only thing I'm scared of if we ever did get Phillips on the show is that I would have to do it alone because Michael might pass out 13 seconds in.
No, don't be scared about it at all, man. You totally would have to. I just go.
Yeah, he's just going to look dead into the camera.
That's how was it first? When I first seen Brandon, I was starstruck. I was like, oh, my gosh, it's Brandon Phillips. I grew up watching Brandon. I was like, all right, I'm not going to say anything to him. I'm just going to kind of watch him. But he's not like that at all. He's like super, super nice, friendly, come up to you. He'd do anything for you. So it kind of just changed my perspective about the whole thing. He's a human just like we are, so he's a great guy.
Who's this? Oh, is Brandon the best teammate? Oh, who's this guy coming in here?
You getting in trouble now?
I don't know who this guy is, but somebody's upset with you. Can you see the comment there?
That's my best friend, actually. Yeah, that's my best friend.
We've got a best teammate and a best friend. I mean, I would rather be a best friend than a best teammate because sometimes your best friend has to be a best teammate and being the best wingman. So just throwing that out there. Don't be upset that Brandon's the best teammate, okay?
They actually got into it on Instagram. They got into it on Instagram over me.
You're telling me you had your best friend right here and Brandon Phillips arguing about you?
Yes, you got to go check it out on my Instagram.
I'm clearly in the wrong line of work. I need famous people arguing about me too.
I argue about you with Josh all the time. Am I not famous enough for you?
You know what? Well, listen, you're not Brandon Phillips. Let's be honest here, Michael.
Hey, I'm that dude. If you're a Cincinnati Reds fan, you would have understood that, but you're not.
All right, Dalton. Now I have to know this as well because first of all, I didn't know that you ever played with Brandon Phillips. Who are some of the bigger name people that you have met in this experience that you've gone through? Is Brandon top tier, or are there any other people? I'm a little curious of who you've gotten seen up close.
He's a Yankee fan. He's odd.
Whoa. I'm just trying to learn what the man is seeing.
I got to meet a bunch of good people. I actually played with Von DeJesus Jr. He played with Brandon with the Reds.
Mm-hmm.
Eric Young Jr. Ben Revere. Do those names sound familiar to you guys?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. You're like, are these anybody to you? Come on.
Yeah.
Like, yes. Yeah. We're good.
Yeah. Basically, our whole, we had, I'm going to say eight guys named Lee, something like that on our team. We were loaded. So there was a bunch of guys that I could learn from. Also, Robbie Rowe. Got a shout out to Robbie Rowe. He does TikTok and Instagram. I'm sure you've seen all of his stuff.
Yes. That's actually, I think, who Moose started writing his articles about was Robbie Rowe there. And that's what kind of started going on. And then he said, hey, I'm writing an article about this other guy. He's a catcher coming up. I was like, hey, I know that name. Alice Louis College? Yeah, I'm good. So, yes, I do know him. But I want to go on here a little bit more while Connie is starstruck by who you've played with. So, since we talked about this, speaking with Lexington Legends, and we all know with the affiliations problems going on right now here in Lexington, Kentucky, or I live in Harlan, but in Lexington, they've Lexington Herald's newspaper, I'm sorry, I keep putting my hand right here, talk about how the affiliation with Lexington Legends is being removed, but yet they're still going to have their team, right? What exactly is the plans going on with that? Like, how is that going to be going? Fill us in because I am uneducated on this part.
So they are going to still have their team.
Mhm.
They are going to have their team. So it's still going to be professional baseball in Lexington. But like we said, with no affiliation, they're looking at some different options right now. They haven't officially come out with what they're doing yet. They said they're looking at like 5 different leagues. And there's a couple of leagues that are, that are legit. One of the leagues that I know is up in the top of, the talk is the Atlantic League, which the Atlantic League is basically it's like the best of minor league baseball. It's basically compared to AAA. So you would be jumping basically from single A to AAA.
Okay. Well, that would be nice then.
Listen. Well, when you eventually
baseball,
make it to the
they're
majors,
not affiliated with.
Okay.
Well, when you make it to the majors, then we're gonna absolutely talk about this because that's just single A to AAA. That's quite the jump there. That's some video game stuff right there. We're like, oh, you're so good, you can skip Double A and go to AAA. That's a big step right there. Is that in a way nerve wracking, or is it just like, hey, I gotta do what I gotta do?
It's basically, you got to do what you got to do. You just got to step and play. You can't really worry about nibbles. I learned that coming in this year. You can't. Like I said, I'm in college, so I couldn't worry about. Okay, well, I don't belong. I can think about any of that stuff. I just had to show up and play.
Well, I mean, if you really think about it, and this is from me, the couch potato here, talking about it. If you can't compete with them, I mean, your end goal is to be ahead of them anyways, right? I mean, you kind of got to have that mentality like, I belong here. I don't care who it is. I want to be facing you later in the MLB as well. So, I mean, it'd be tough. I mean, I say that, like I say, from the outside looking in, but you deserve to be there for a reason. Speaking of deserve, I didn't mention this. Connie, just so you know, Dalton was even mentioned in the all-national team as a catcher. I'm saying.
Oh, don't worry. I did a little reading up on you, Dalton. Don't worry. Okay. I know that.
Okay.
And speaking of that reading, I need to know how true this is because I'm looking at the article right here. Now, let me tell you something. This doesn't even make sense to me, especially with baseball in today's world. It says your senior year, you batted .536 and struck out twice.
He said, "Yeah."
Yes, that's true.
You struck out 2 times in the whole season. That doesn't even make sense to me, especially today. I mean, then again, like I said, you own 10 gloves right now. I own 10 gloves in my entire life, so I probably struck out 15 times a game. But twice the whole season, 536. This says you had 5 triples, 6 home runs, 36 RBIs, and listen, people. Don't get it wrong because he's a catcher. The man had 25 stolen bases.
Oh yes, there we go.
A little speedster over here.
I will say this because you played at June Buchanan, right, in high school.
Yes, I like to run.
Did it help you any playing at your?
Actually, I went to Knott County Central High School.
Oh, you went to Knott County. That's right. I remember seeing that. I was going to say, did it happen to be an advantage to stay on that field the whole time? But you were at Knott Central, wasn't you? I'm sorry. You went to the better school. All right. Let's see here. What else we got to ask? Okay. Yeah. What is the next step for your career? What is your next goal to be doing? Because, I think you are a senior right now in college, but still playing with the Lexington Legends.
I actually have 2 years left of eligibility in school.
Okay.
Oh gosh, did we lose him for good?
Yeah, 2 years left of school.
Oh, there we go. This delay.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
There we go. Maybe not. I might have lied.
I don't know why I'm leading with
school. So I haven't decided.
Okay.
Ooh, haven't decided yet. See, here's the thing. Me and Michael talked to an NFL prospect or a college prospect. I don't know how you guys do this whole deciding thing. Because when we were talking to him, I said, the first offer I got, I might just go there because I'm so happy. How hard is it to all right, I got this offer, or this person's interested in me, this, that, or the third, and then just not be like, oh gosh, I'm going there because maybe I don't get another one. How is that a difficult thing, or at that point do you realize I'm probably going to end up getting more anyway?
I could not hear anything you said. Please repeat that.
No, you're all good. Me and Michael a while ago talked to a NFL college prospect type of thing, and he was mentioning, like offers that he was getting and stuff like that. And I was saying, first offer I get, I might just have to accept it because I would be so excited. Is that like, where are you in that offering situation right now? Are you going through things, or is there one that stands out?
Okay, so so without my college eligibility, I can go back to the draft really big, but I can also sign as a free. And I've also looked at playing in winter ball opportunities such as Mexico, Australia,
Okay.
just like that. So I have some different options I'm looking at. I just haven't decided exactly what I'm going to do yet.
Okay. I'm going to repeat that because I don't know if everything was said perfectly. I think I understood it, and I just want to repeat it back to you, and just to make sure viewers heard it. Right now, you still have 2 years of eligibility in college ball, but you said you may go – actually, you could sign as a free agent or go play winter ball in like Mexico or Australia or something to that effect. Dude, that'd be awesome. Actually, I got a buddy just texted me and said, hey, your stream keeps freezing on you. Thank you for your information. But, dude, man, that's awesome. Especially that's the Moose. He's the guy that wrote the article about you. I just think it's awesome that one, especially Connie. I know you don't know exactly where we live in Kentucky, but just from
not even the slightest.
For a small town like Pippa Passes is actually where you live, right? Because you live on campus, right?
Whoa.
Yes, and actually, just a little history. It used to be called Pippa Pass, but they added
Correct.
the end. So it's awesome just to see that you get the opportunities that you've already gotten to. Like I've geeked out over the Brandon Phillips. You're playing with the Lexington Legends, and not even to know that you still have all these different opportunities going on, man. Kudos to you for that. Awesome job. It just shows that dedication and hard work can pay off for everybody who actually wants to dedicate their life to it, and that's something that you've had to done too, right? It's not just, hey, let me go out here and practice a few times, dedicate 2 or 3 hours a day. I mean, you've pretty much lived, breathed, bought the gloves of baseball, right?
Right. You have to really, if you want to play at that level, you have to put everything into it. If not, you're not going to get what you want out of it.
Okay. Well, man, our next thing that I had on here is to do like a hot seat take where we just ask you a bunch of questions really fast. I'm going to say that we don't do that because with the delay that we got going on, it might be a little difficult. So I just want to say for myself, thank you so much for coming on here with us. Please join us back later on whenever you do decide what you're going on, and maybe when you do sign on up there that, we could put a little jersey back here or something that has your name on it. And
listen, we will gladly host your signing day. We'll gladly host a signing day. I'll put on the hat myself.
We have no level of shallow.
No shame at all.
But again, thanks so much for joining our Backstop Banter. And again, anytime you want to come back on here, give us updates or whatever, you're more than welcome. Connie, you want to say anything to him? Or?
Yeah, for sure. Like Michael said, thanks for coming on. You seem like you're a great person, and like Michael said, once again, whenever you're available, whenever something happens, you definitely have a home on this show, to say the least. So definitely wishing you all the best and luck. And I'll say it one more time: if you ever just want to randomly text Brandon Phillips, it's not going to hurt us. I promise it won't hurt.
So the next time you're like with Brandon Phillips, be like, hey man, I'm bored. I know these guys. It's Thursday, like 10 p.m. at night. Maybe we should just see if they can have us on. Listen, you'll have to come on here too with him, just so you know, because I'll have to be like, Dalton, how are you doing today?
Make it happen.
There we go. That's what we like to hear.
I think before you go, you got to give a shout out because they said that they're waiting.
There we go. Make the fans happy. And you better follow us, by the way, whoever this is.
Shout out to all my boys at Al Sloyd College for doing everything for me, for forming me who I am. And I want to thank my parents, my best friends, all my coaches I've had, just everybody in this process. I want to thank them.
Well, do appreciate it. Do you want to say, like, follow you on Twitter, Instagram, anything like that, to do any kind of platform there?
Can you repeat?
Do you want to share?
I can hear you.
Do you want to share like your Instagram accounts, your Twitter, like go follow me here? check out all this good stuff we got going on. Tell them about your shirt that you had going on there for a while that you was selling.
For sure, yeah. So my Instagram is Dalton3C. And my shirt that I had was it said the best smile in baseball. Robbie Rowe actually gave me that slogan, and we got a shirt made for it. So the shirt went crazy, went viral. So we had a bunch of shirt sales. So you guys will have to let me know. I'll ship you a shirt.
Hey, there we go. I will definitely send that out to you, man. Do appreciate that. Well, I guess we'll go ahead and say so long to you, and we'll definitely try to get that shirt from you. But again, one last time, Dalton, thank you so much, and good luck to you on the future in your career, and we'll look forward to keeping up with you, man. Have a good one.
Beautiful. Listen, the things of live here. You know, a little lag here or there. We're all good. We're all good.
I know we were lagging, but I don't care right now. This was my favorite show I've ever done. For myself personally, on this small holler that I used to live in, or still live in actually, to actually go to Alice Lloyd College and learn a little bit about that. And actually, I seen this guy as a kid growing up. I probably never said a word to him as he was a kid because his dad was so active at the school. He actually is the coach of the basketball team now. Right now, his dad, I think, is coaching basketball and the baseball team. So, I mean, the dedicated the Cornets have done for that school has been phenomenal. Even his mom taught some classes at Alice Lloyd College where my wife took under there as well. She went into education. So I'm very thankful for the family. Had a great time just interviewing him on the show. Very thankful for that. Now, let's change it over to our other segment. And Connie, I will let you take over on that to bring us on in. Sound good?
Absolutely. Now we are going to get into, you know what I'm calling it, we're doing our 30 and 15 here. We're doing 30 and 15. We're breaking down the 30 MLB teams over the course of the next 15 weeks up until opening day, you know, maybe a week or so into the opening week of the season. Hopefully, with everything, you know, going smoothly, of course. We don't want any, you know, pushbacks in the MLB season. We don't want short season. No. We're hoping for a full, wonderful season. But with that being said, last week we did the Mets and the Yankees. We're sticking, you know, in the AL East and the NL East. And then, of course, you know, like I said, we're kind of just going to go across the country as apparently Josh has now become a Cubs fan. I don't know when that happened.
Today.
But you know what, Josh? Yeah, you know what, Josh? Good for you. I'm proud of you. Josh is the biggest baseball fan I know. That's why we're going to have him on the show one day when he stops being scared to come on. But that's a whole different problem. Different problem.
Just join right now, Josh. Just come on in. We'll talk to you.
Yeah. Come on, Josh. Don't be scared. We'll be all right. We can break down the Blue Jays with you.
But, or the Cubs. You know, we'll go Cubs for you.
Yeah, we might. Yeah, we'll go with the Cubs for you. Talk about Chris Bryant. But with that being said, and you know, we actually talked about it with Dalton about, you know, second generation players, and we're going to kick it off here with the Blue Jays as they won our poll. And you know, we will post another poll probably tomorrow about, you know, the next teams we should break down. So make sure if you want a certain team talked about, you go and check that out. But with that being said, how good, Michael, do you think the young core of the Blue Jays are? You know, they got Guerrero Jr., Biggio, and Bichette, you know, probably the bigger names in that. They also have Gurriel Jr. They have there's somebody else. I just can't think of his name right now. But you know, they have some pretty solid players. So how good do you think that young core really is?
You know, I'll be honest with you. I have gotten a little bit out of baseball over the few years. I've got, like we've said so many times, I've got 2 4-year-olds and a 3-year-old right now. So that has been on a back burner for a little bit as my kids growing older. I've been able to get back into sports on this. And I'm really excited about this team because it kind of takes me back to when I was a kid, seeing some of these guys, you know, like you said, the Biggio, wow, I can't even speak now.
And
yes. And Vlad, I used to love Vlad as, well, his dad, the senior, watching him play. He never wore batting gloves there for a while. And he said, you know, it was just an awesome thing. It's like, I want to feel the bat in my hands. And you're like, wow, that's an awesome player. That's country right there. y'all saying now. So I'm really excited to watch this team and just kind of get more involved with them. Vlad, lost, I think, 13 pounds already in this offseason. So I can feel that the urgency is there. I won't say urgency, that almost sounds bad. But I can feel that the time is now for them. I feel like they're actually believers that they are contenders now, and I'm excited to see where they go on this.
Yeah, I think that they are pretty solid. You obviously saw what Vlad did in the home run derby. They're kind of trying to make a star out of him, especially, like we said, being a second-generation player. But the person I kind of want to focus on, who I actually think is probably going to be the best one out of all of them, like I said, Guerrero kind of gets the name because of his dad, and he was kind of, the big star coming up. But I really think that Bo Bichette is probably going to be the best one out of all of them. He missed some time this year, but when he's on the field, he's a very solid player. Obviously being a Yankee fan, going up against them, I probably watch more of them than, some people do. But the Blue Jays should be excited going forward. I think that they really have that young core that they can kind of build around, because now that you know who's going to be there for a while, you don't have to pay them a ton of money yet. They're not even up for arbitration yet. So now you kind of build around them and do what you have to do with them, make sure that they continue to get better. But I really think Bo Bichette is going to end up being the one that probably is the better one out of all of them. And then it's kind of funny because everybody always mentions Bo because they like his talent level. And then, you go to Vlad because of his dad and things like that. Now I can't think of the other one. Oh, gosh. Why I can't think of the other one? Bichette. Biggio.
Yeah,
Biggio.
okay.
Biggio is kind of like the forgotten one. And he's pretty solid as well. So like I said, I love the young core kind of moving forward.
Sorry, I got a notification there. Yeah, and I cannot pronounce the pitcher's name. I'm not even going to try. Can you help me on that?
Drew?
Sure. He had a great year last year, and, of course, they're going to need to call upon him quite a bit to still be that ace for them. I do think that they'll have to sign some type of starting pitcher during the offseason to try to help out with that. I did read a couple articles that had some predictions on some relief pitchers coming in there as well. So I do think they're in a good spot. And, I don't know if you've seen this. I'm sorry. I can't believe I about forgot this. There is a good chance that Freddie Lindor may actually be interested in the Jays. I seen an article on MLB that said that he was actually considering this team for a long-term deal if he were to be traded there. Like one of the announcers even said we could see him doing a 10-year, $100 million, whatever you want to say onto that, to be a Blue Jay. And they kind of went in more detail, said that Freddie was more of a unique kind of person, a home person who loved to do things out in the city, and said that Toronto is just 100% up his alley on that. So watch out for that. That would be a big move for them, and definitely a big upgrade at shortstop, since he's better than Aaron Judge, top 5 for sure. As you can check out our argument on TikTok. What is their TikTok handle?
I believe. See, here's the thing. TikTok is a little bit confusing, for the simple fact that the username technically says that it is like the @ name. Oh my gosh, I just switched to my own account, not the baseball one.
We don't want
it's
that.
It's @ baseball USN, and then but like the top thing says baseball Unwrapped. So listen, if you can't find one of them, you go search for the other ones. Fine. No. But I would search out baseball USN, or like I said, if you can't find it, baseball Unwrapped. But we're there.
Yeah. So go on there real quick and leave a good comment that Lindor is definitely better than Aaron Judge, and he thinks Aaron Judge.
See, here's the thing: you can't say Lindor is better because you didn't get his first name right.
What'd I say?
You said Freddie.
Yeah, Francisco. They call him Freddie.
Never in my life have I heard that, Michael.
Where have you been, man? Come on.
Never.
Man. Do you not have a baseball show?
Don't lie to the people, Michael.
Listen,
you thought it was Freddie.
No, I knew it's Francisco.
I'm calling a lie. As we would say in New York, that's cap.
You get on MLB.com right now, and there is an article about it, and it is a video of one of their shows, and they call him Freddie on there.
Well, guess what? I will never, ever watch that show then, because I've never heard Francisco and Freddie be the same thing.
Francisco, we're on this level here, I know Dalton now. I'm pretty good friends with Brandon Phillips. Me and Freddie were besties as well. So
that's crazy that you have this great connection, but you haven't gotten him on the show.
We're building up to it. Okay. We don't want to
yeah.
have one of these guys on now and not have the views yet. And then once we get bigger, then, so we're building up to it. Freddie, we'll holler at you very soon to prove it, okay?
Oh yeah, okay. Listen, that's a nice little transition there because while he's not technically a free agent, he is somebody that is definitely available. And of course,
Trade.
with all these teams, you kind of go through, what they should do in free agency, and we kind of always go back to this name, but it's simply because he's been the name that's in the stories. DJ Mayhew and or JT Realmuto have kind of been linked with the Blue Jays as well.
Yes.
There was actually a quote today from Bo Bichette who said that that DJ Mayhew is the number one person in baseball he would like to play with. So that's definitely a little bit of marketing over there as well. So like I say, it'll be interesting to see what they do in free agency because, I think like you said, and, that's our next talking point, we can kind of, merge it into one here. They need more pitching,
Yes.
They really do. So I don't know if you dive into the, pool that is DJ Mayhew, who's, they're talking, 20-25 million a year. And then you go over to JT Realmuto, who I'm not sure what his market is yet, but without Ryu, they really don't have a great starting pitcher besides him. So you really have to fix that up before you can do anything. And, the trouble with starting pitching as well is sometimes you don't want to spend that much money on starting pitching because we see it every year at the trade deadline that some pretty great pitchers come available, at the trade deadline. But the thing with that also is you have to give up players in that exchange where this is just money. And for these owners, it really is just money. Unlike for us, where I would weep if I ever had to pay somebody $25 million. Well, I wouldn't weep. I'd probably be in prison because I don't have it. But what are you thinking, Michael? They go and DJ, who they've been linked to a lot, JT Realmuto, I've seen, some articles about him, or do you think they should just focus on the pitching part?
Yes. Yes is my answer.
What an answer.
And that's the thing that's crazy when it comes to all these free agencies. I don't think you can put all your eggs in one basket and try to pursue that. Now, I do think the Yankees right now are putting their eggs in the basket and going for DJ. Like, that is their number one. We want to re-sign him to keep him in our core because he was their all-star because we have Aaron Judge, who's not top 5. DJ is better than him. But
that's
so
a lie as well,
if they could get him, they're satisfied. So I know the Blue Jays are up there or wherever they're at. Where they're going to be playing next year, they're not in – that's still up in the air, ain't it?
Yeah, that's kind of still up in the air as well, too, because I saw something today that, depending on when the season starts, could depend on what happens with them. It's a mess. It is an absolute mess.
It really is. So I see the Blue Jays, actually trying to play every card that they can here. I think that they really go for DJ because he had a great season last year. And if you could sign him, that would be phenomenal. And then if they could make the trade for Lindor as well, that would be great. But I don't know if you could do both of those. I do think the Blue Jays are in a spot to where they're going to do something. Like, they're not going to just sit there and be still. So I look for them to – I don't know. My heart says that they really want to make a push for Lindor, but I don't know if they 100% believe that they could make it happen. If you do hear that Freddie is interested in Toronto, then you may really try to pursue that because, this is a person that if you had on the team would be the face of not only the franchise, probably the face of the whole country with baseball for sure. So, the economy for that factor would be great for him, endorsements. But anyways, getting off the picture there, I would like to see them go for Realmuto and Lindor. I think that would probably be their best bet that they could make happen. I would like to see them get DJ, but I think that's going to be a Yankee.
Well, you know what, Michael? I hope that you are absolutely correct.
I know you
do.
Yankee. Well, do you not? At the end of the day, in your gut, do you not just think that DJ is going to stay a Yankee?
I really don't know. I don't, and that's the thing that because the Michael K show, the Yankee announcer has his radio station here in New York, right. Which by the way, me and Josh interviewed Don LaGreca. So if you haven't checked that out, make sure you go over to the Blitz Boys podcast and check that out. But they interviewed. I try. They interviewed Brian Cashman, who's obviously the Yankee GM, and he said, that is kind of what they're doing, putting all the eggs in the basket of DJ Mayhew. But you also, in a way, can't wait too long because then your backup plans start getting signed, and players that you want to replace them would sign. But I also heard that the Indians are waiting to see what the Yankees do with DJ, because if he doesn't sign there, then they think that they match up best for a trade option. So there is a lot of moving pieces with this because, just and bringing it full circle back to the Blue Jays, if the Blue Jays sign DJ, do the Yankees now get Lindor? If the Yankees sign DJ, do, the Blue Jays sign Realmuto instead and then go after Lindor as well? Do they take that money that they would have invested in somebody else and put it into starting pitching? It is definitely it's kind of a revolving door. This is why baseball, the offseason and, in every sport is just so entertaining, because you never really know truly what is going to happen.
No. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I kind of wish there's, and this is my brain. This is how I think. How funny would it be if we could have like a graph showing how we talk in circles so much, and that's how it is when it is with free agency. Like, the best bet will be they make a trade for Lindor, but they'd probably have to lose a couple of their second generation players in that. So that might be a hesitation for them because they are a young team. But if they could get Lindor and then also would rather sign DJ, that would be phenomenal. That would be like 1A possibility to what you want to be done. And then you got to think, well, can they pull that off? Will Lindor even go to Toronto? So do they try to just go for DJ and Realmuto? I think Realmuto would like to be – am I that boring? Oh,
Listen, I don't sleep very much, okay, Michael?
You shoveled for 5 minutes today. I understand, man. You're tired.
Exactly.
But, I think Realmuto, if you could go anywhere in the major league, would you not try to wait to see where Bauer goes to and try to go with that team as well? So how open is Realmuto to any of these teams? It's just a big circle, and it's like a big spider web, how everything's going out and playing out right now. So it's just – and we're so early in the preseason. I mean, the winter meetings are still going on right now. So it's exciting to try to predict where things are going to go. But I do think – we all know that Lindor will not be a Cleveland whatever they are. I do think DJ will sign back with the Yankees. So that's about as sure as I am on anything. And I'm probably the only one that's that sure. I've seen a couple articles where they even said that DJ would – consider taking less money to stay a Yankee than going somewhere else and getting more money. So when you hear that, you're thinking, okay, he's pretty set. But money does talk. So I rambled for about 10 minutes saying all these possibilities to give you absolutely no answer.
Well, Michael, that's why we talk these things out. You got to clear the mind every once in a while, and that's okay. But our last little talking point here about the Blue Jays is, and it's kind of hard to predict right now because, like you said, we're so far away with free agency and everything like that. And, Michael, I'm going to give us a little leadway here. I say that these early on predictions that before the big free agent sign, we give ourselves, a little wiggle room here to change our prediction based on how things go.
A little wiggle room.
So I guess I'll kind of wrap these last two things into one. How, are they a playoff contender this year? Or are they a couple years away? And what is your record prediction for them this season?
It's coming to me. Just bear with me as my chair squeaks. Yes, they are a contender now. That's because I think they're going to make some moves. In the past, every time that Toronto has been a decent team or a contender team, they haven't done it through their own farm teams coming up, farm players, prospective players coming up. They've made trades or they've signed someone. So I think this is a perfect time with the different players that are out there and showing some interest that they do make their moves and they become even more relevant. I want to say that they're an 80-win team. I don't want to put them too much higher because we don't know exactly how they're going to go, but I'm going to say an 80, just for the fun of it, an 81-win team this year.
Michael, I hate to say this, but you're kind of contradicting yourself here. Because I think 80 wins doesn't make them a contender.
Really?
I think because I think if I'm not wrong, 500 it's a 162 game season. So what is it? 81 and 81. So what, they would be 80 and 82. They'd have a under 500 record.
Yeah. Okay, you're right. I need to move that on up a little bit more. And listen, 162 games, you try to hit a good number there in between. It can get a little difficult to try to really push that. Like, last week when I was saying 90 and 96 was, I think, my predicaments on those. 90 wins is a tough season.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. See, this is where I agree with you. I think that they're an low 80, I'll give them 84 max win team, but I don't think they're a contender because I still don't think that's good enough to get into the playoffs as an AL team. You look at the AL, you're going to have, the 4 division winners. There probably is going to be 2 teams that come out of the AL East. There's usually a scrap till the end in the division with the Indians. I can't think of it right now for some reason. What is that, the North?
The Central, Indian Central.
Central, yes. Wow, I was thinking of football. But the Central, there's usually a fight with them, and one of those teams usually end up getting another wild card spot. So I think it'd be a little difficult for the Blue Jays to be a contender this year. But I like the low 80s mark for them. Because even going back to last year, they gave a lot of teams troubles. Me and Alex, jokingly would always go back and forth about when the Blue Jays would play the Yankees, they played them really tough. I believe they were only like 1 game behind them when the season ended. So they are a very scrappy team. Every time you think that they're kind of done and out, they, muster something up and end up coming back. But I still think that they're probably a year or 2 away. You let these guys develop 1 more year. You bring in a free agent, whoever that may be. You fix up the starting pitching somehow, and then I think you're pretty ready to go and compete with the big boys and the Rays and the Yankees and all them.
Well, do you think? Oh, let's just talk about this. Let's just say this real quick. This year, the NL East was the Rays, Yankees, Blue Jays, Orioles, and Red Sox. We think Orioles and Red Sox finished last again this year, correct?
Yeah.
I even think Orioles will probably be worse than the Red Sox, but we don't know.
I don't know. The Red Sox are losing a lot of pieces, but we'll get to them probably very soon.
But I'm just looking at it. The Rays have already lost Charlie Morton. Do we think that they're going to be, I'm going to say this stat, so leave me alone, a 40-win team again this year because of the shortened season? There were 40-20, so there were 2/3 of win, 1/3 of loss. So do we think they're a 600 club this coming year? Or do we think that they may?
I think the Rays still win like 89, 93 games.
Okay, so you're thinking the Yankees will be above the Rays?
I think if you were to ask me my teams right now that I'm confident in making the playoffs, it would be the Yankees, Rays. I think the Twins will do it again. Chicago got a lot better, so I think they'll make it. The White Sox, obviously.
Right.
I don't think the Indians will make it.
Especially if they're getting rid of Lindor.
Yeah, losing Lindor. I think Oakland makes it again, obviously. I think, unfortunately, the Astros end up making it. And depending on what happens, this might sound crazy now, but I think the Angels have a chance. I really do.
I've been high on the Angels.
Yeah, I was high on them going into last year. I thought they were making the playoffs last year. I was clearly wrong, but let me not. I guess Toronto has a chance, but I just don't think the record of a losing record would get them there. So maybe if they're like I said, maybe they play a little bit above their prediction. They win 86 games, 87 games. I think that's enough to compete and get a wild card spot. So it's going to be. I think the AL East is going to be a very fun division this year because in the recent years we've kind of seen it. It's always kind of been like the Yankees, and then one of the other teams is good. Mm-hmm. Last year it was the Rays. The year before that it was the Red Sox. Or if you look back a few years ago, the Orioles were pretty good for a stretch. So they made the playoffs a few times.
Okay.
Hey, it's better than what the Reds did.
That's true. But let's just be honest. We both agree that if they are a playoff team, it's going to be a wild card spot.
Oh, absolutely. There is no chance they win a division. No chance.
I 100% agree with you on that.
Wow, look at us coming together. What great hosts. What great hosts. Unbelievable.
Oh, you're leaving me hanging here on the fist bump, man.
See, here's the thing. I went to hold on. I can never do this, bro.
You go away from it.
It doesn't make sense though. I switched over to the Google Doc. That's the only reason I left you hanging. I couldn't see you.
Okay.
But that'll wrap it up for the Blue Jays. Let's head over to the Braves, who I think are a very intriguing team to say the least.
Is that a basketball trophy over your shoulder?
That's actually a baseball trophy.
Looky there, baseball. That's what I like to see.
See that right there? Bang.
Hey, that'd be a nice
2013 logo. WBL champions. I don't even know what that is.
That'd be a nice logo. Look at that thing. That baseball on fire.
Don't worry, we're getting there. Logo
yes.
coming soon, people.
Do we think, let's start off with the first question. Do we think when the season starts that they will be called the Atlanta Braves?
Yes.
I think
no
so.
doubt in my mind.
I think
with all these changes, I think I could see the Indians coming. That was kind of easy. The Redskins coming, that was kind of easy as well. I haven't really heard any problems with the Braves. I haven't heard any problems with the team like the Chiefs or anything like that. So I think that as name changes go, that they might be I was trying to get it on the trophy. I missed it, but whatever. But yeah, I think as long as those names go, the Braves will be all right. But I mean, then again, who knows?
I mean, I'll say this, and I'm trying to be as sensitive or as I guess
Politically correct.
That scares me to take that. But I feel like the Braves is a more pure name for them. Like, the Indians, they have said before, the Native Americans have said that is, they don't appreciate that name. So I actually felt like the Indians would have been changed well before the Redskins. I'll say that. So like the Chiefs, I mean, that's like actual name for them. I totally think that should be appropriate for them. The Braves, the legacy that the Braves have in Atlanta and the whole state of Georgia, I think that solidifies them. I was breaking those
Michael,
words.
here's my thing that I just don't understand.
I can't.
How is it possible that you could pronounce the name of whatever town you just said before, but you can't say Remuto?
It's Pippa Passes. That's it. Pippa, Pippa Passes. Passes. That's it.
That sounds like a spell.
Yeah.
Sounds like Harry Potter.
Oh, Pippa Passes.
See, exactly. You just did it right there. But Michael, let's get back to the Braves here. Let's get back to the Braves.
The Braves.
Is there anyone in the division that you see competing with them this season?
Yes, I do. But it's all on speculation. I think the Mets will automatically be in a contender.
I said, Michael, we're giving ourselves a little lead room here because some of these free agents haven't signed.
Right. So in like 20 days from now, everything we say on this show might be washed down the drain, except for our interview with Dalton, which was gold.
Watch. DJ LeMahieu's going to go sign with the A's, and Realmuto's going to sign with the Marlins again. It's just going to be a mess.
And then Freddie's going to follow me on Twitter and be like, "Yo, bro, what's up, man?"
Yeah, and then we're all going to wake up from our dreams.
So I don't think the Marlins repeat of a season they did this year. I mean, they were barely over 500 and in second place. Philly's going to be a little bit better. The Nationals are going to be a little bit better. But I think it's going to come down to the Braves and Mets. And if the Mets do the noise that they're talking about with their new owner,
Yep.
Cohen, I think that they could take that number one. I don't think the first year it happens, and we've had this debate many times that I think, it's going to take them a year or two to gel with that office there and as far as putting it into a winning atmosphere. So I still think Braves come out number one. Now, my only thing is, and I might be getting ahead of myself because you probably want to join in, is I think the Braves have to re-sign someone right away, and I'll leave it at that and let you go ahead.
Yeah, I think, like you said, it's kind of the Mets and the Braves. I could see a bounce back season from the Nationals. They went through some injuries. They obviously lost some people last season. They had some opt outs as well. So I could see them bouncing back. I could obviously see the Phillies bouncing back again, but I could see them kind of struggling. I know that Didi Gregorius for the Phillies is a free agent now, so I don't know what's going on with him. You of course have Bryce Harper there. Oh, of course you do.
I really do. Well, he actually came through our farm system.
I did not know that. I swear to God, I didn't actually know. I lied. Because he debuted with the Diamondbacks, right?
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. He did, but he did play with us for 3 years.
No, because I remember looking up Didi's like stats or things like that. No, I looked up his first home run. And he was on the Diamondbacks. I was like, what? I was like, the Diamondbacks? I was like, when did that? And you know who he hit his first home run against?
Oh, no. Who's that?
The Yankees.
Oh, sorry.
I was like, what the hell? I was like, you want to talk about a full circle.
Yeah. No. So I
But,
think,
yeah, I
speaking
think-
of
I
full
think-
circle, I think he'll end up at a cheaper Lindor for us, or Lindor for the Reds is Didi reunion.
Listen, I loved him in New York, so Sir
He's a
Didi can
good
come
player.
back anytime.
Good player.
And he has a great emoji game.
Oh
You
yeah,
ever see his tweets? You ever see his tweets after they win games?
I have not. I'll have to check this
Oh
out.
no, you got to give him a follow on Twitter. He always tweets out certain emojis for certain players. He does a great job. Like
Okay.
Gary Sanchez, he had the little octopus because his nickname was the Kraken. Chapman,
Okay.
he had a little fireball because he throws hard.
It's the Rocket.
They had some great things. So it was pretty solid. But
Go
like
follow
you
him right
said,
now.
as it's a great follow. It truly is. And he's actually a very good artist.
Oh yeah, nice.
Like he draws things. He's very good at that.
Well,
But
that's usually
you
what an
tease
artist
it-
does.
Well, see, here's the thing. Artist can technically mean a musician these days.
I know. I can tell.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
what you meant.
Hey, listen, I got to clarify it for the people out there.
For the people.
Exactly. That's who we're here for. But the Braves need to kind of replace the power bat that they've lost, and they lost it because Ozuna is now a free agent. I think that their number one priority this offseason has to be re-signing him. I think that they'll end up getting that done, hopefully for them, because we saw with Freddie Freeman this year, he had his MVP season. I really think that Marcell Ozuna helped him in that situation. It was kind of, you can't pitch around this person because you got Freddie behind him, so it gave Freddie some protection in that lineup. So I think that they need to re-sign him. What say you, Michael?
Yeah, I totally agree. Sorry, I was checking something there out real quick. Yeah, I think Freddie Freeman's I went blank. His season this year, he
MVP
won.
season?
Yes, MVP season. That I think it wasn't him himself that got that. I think that whole lineup helped him out tremendously because you couldn't pitch around him. You couldn't pitch to someone else. You had to face pretty much everyone in that lineup, which the Reds did great against as pitchers. We did 22 scoreless innings as the offensive side, but at the I'm trying to think right now as I'm rambling. I want to say the very first round in the playoffs, we went to 11 innings. It was 11 scoreless innings before the Braves finally scored. So, yeah, I can't think of his name right now. I know you just said it, and I'm trying to pull it up.
Marcell Ozuna?
Yes. He actually, I think, led the league in home runs this year, in the NL at least.
It is possible.
I think he led the NL in home runs and RBIs, which, again, with that right there, but yet your co-star player, Freddie Freeman, comes in first in the MVP. I think those two are a great 1-2 bunch right there. Now, here's my thing. Sorry, I'm trying to read my notes as I talk to you. What I'm worried about most with this is if the NL doesn't have a DH this year, I don't think he signs back with the Braves because that's what he did last year. He was the DH. You got to focus on that. So
yeah, but I mean, he did start out as an outfielder. That's what he played in Miami. So it's not. That's the only thing. Like, there's certain people that would only sign as a DH. You look at somebody like Stanton, who they don't really want playing the outfield.
Right.
You look at obviously what David Ortiz was his entire career with the Red Sox. So there are the certain players that are kind of just DHs, but I think Ozuna is a pretty solid defender as well. So I wouldn't rule them out because they're not having a DH in the NL this year, but I think that, maybe an AL team definitely takes a closer look at him now because of him.
Oh, yeah.
Of his production in the DH role last season.
Yeah, this could have been why that they didn't re-sign Adam Duvall because he is their outfielder. They let him go on arbitrations, or they just didn't sign him. I can't remember if it was the other thing.
Non-tender.
Yes, non-tender. So it could have been that they're thinking that there's not going to be a DH. Let's not re-sign Adam Duvall, so we have a spot now for him. I'm trying my best not to say his name, but it's Ozuna. Did I say it right? Ozuna. It's not an O, it's an A. So, yeah, so I would say that's probably what they're thinking there is Ozuna, look at me, can take over Adam Duvall's position there in the outfield, which I hate it for Duvall because he actually had a rebound year, who is also another Yankee. I may have his bobblehead.
You have a Yankees bobblehead.
No, Adam Duvall. He used to be a Red. Did I say? Please tell me I
You
did.
said Yankee. Oh, you said Yankee.
Baseball lords, I am so sorry for that. Please forgive me.
Well, so don't worry. Come to the dark side. It's a lot more fun over here. We win a lot. We have a great song when we win the games. New York, New York, Frank Sinatra.
You
We got a
spend
top 5
lot.
player in baseball.
In DJ, yes.
I don't know about that. Maybe we have 2 then. Actually, we might have 3 if you want to count. If you want to throw in Garrett Cole, that's a whole different story for a whole different day.
This needs to be our next poll on our MLB. Is Aaron Judge top 5? Yes or no?
Hey, listen, it's fine with me.
It's going to be at least 80% no, and then 20% of all the New York fans yes.
No. It'll be 80% people with half a brain saying yes, and then Michael will vote no.
I take up 20%.
Yep. That's no, because you're gonna make the bot accounts like you said that I did.
Listen. I am 34-year-old living in Harlan County, Kentucky, where they made the show Justified. If you ever watched that,
Never even heard of it.
I cannot come up with bots to help out my poll rankings.
You're gonna make burner accounts like KD had.
Oh, now that's true. I may do that, or like Cheesehead does for Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, he has an Aaron Rodgers fan club. But Michael, do you think that they have enough pitching to make a World Series run? And then also, it's kind of in the same breath because they have such good pitching. You think the Dodgers are the only team? I think that the Dodgers honestly might be the only team that I think is really that much better than the Braves.
I hate to agree with you because I hate big market teams like the Dodgers and Yankees because I'm a Reds fan. That's just me. But, their starting pitcher, I think they had a couple of guys or 3 solid pitchers this year, and then they just signed Charlie Morton to a 1-year, $15 million deal. And I think another guy, I typed his name out, it's Drew something other. That didn't work out well for me. He's on to a 1-year, $11 million deal. So I'm thinking that's their goal is to try to have those solid innings on the back half of that starting rotation as well. So, I think one thing that they may need to invest in as well in the offseason is possibly looking for a backup catcher too. That is one thing that they did hurt at as well.
Yeah, I think they have enough to make that World Series run. It's just a fact of getting past a team like the Dodgers, or we've mentioned the Mets coming up. You obviously have to worry about not only the Dodgers. You have to worry about the Padres now as well. They've gotten a lot better. So there's definitely some teams in the NL that are going to be competing out there. And then you look at your division with the Cardinals. They got the Reds out there.
Reds.
You look at the Cubs, if they bounce back maybe a little bit. So there's definitely some things to look out for there. But I think the Braves have enough. And like you said, I loved the addition of Charlie Morton, and they added another starting pitcher. As you said, I can't remember his name.
It's Drew
at the moment. I looked it up before, and I literally just can't remember it right now.
Let me see here.
But and then they also have the young core of the 3 starting pitchers that they've kind of brought up through their farm system. So they have pretty solid pieces to build around. Let's see, I'm trying to find their pitching right now.
One of them was Mike. I can't remember his last name either, and I'm sure it's probably something that I can't pronounce anyways. Let's see here. Mike Soroka. Is that right?
Not bad. Charlie Morton. Who was the other one?
And of course, when I typed this out when I was at work trying to have these names, it changes the names. But I think I got Mike's.
Drew Smiley. Drew Smiley was the other person that they signed.
When I texted out, autocorrect changed it to SMYLY.
That's how you spell it.
Oh, okay. So I guess I typed it correct. Okay, so that is Smiley. Okay, that makes sense. But yes, all right. I thought that was a typo. So good.
Yeah, but like we said, they signed Morton, they signed Drew Smiley. They have Max Fried. They have Mike Soroka coming back from the Achilles tendon injury that we saw last season.
Ian Anderson too. They still have him pitching, don't they?
Yes, they do. So they have some pretty solid starting pitching now. I think that they kind of fixed it up. So I like where they're going. I think that they can kind of compete with the Dodgers. I think the Dodgers starter pitching is still definitely better. They're kind of just a machine over there. They for all the things that people say about a big market team with the Dodgers, they've done a very, very good job at scouting and building their team through the farm system and then using their money and their market to get that last kind of piece for the missing puzzle. You look at Bellinger, he was brought up. You look at Jock Peterson, he was brought up. Max Muncy, I believe, came through their system. Obviously, Kershaw. Who's their new starting pitcher? Not new, but their new number one kind of guy. I can't think of his name now. Bueller.
Bueller, yeah. I was gonna say all I can think is Kershaw right now.
He came up through the farm system, so they're doing some pretty solid things over there. But I still think the Braves have a chance to compete with them. And you know what? Just to wrap this all up, unless you had something, there, Michael?
I'm sorry.
That was a child.
Did you hear it?
I heard the child.
Okay. Yes. I do think the Braves probably are a decent number 2 in the NL alone. I think they stand alone on that, especially with some of the additions that they've already made. So, yeah. Yes, my wife just texted me and said my son is up. So, yes, I think the Dodgers and the Braves are your 1-2 team for the NL, and I kind of think the Braves have a good shot at them.
Yeah, I think that they definitely have the chance to do something pretty solid. To wrap up the Braves, we'll go into the record prediction. I got them sitting at a pretty – I'm going to go precisely here because I don't think they're going to do too much in free agency. They're going to win. Bring it to the bank, Braves fan. They're winning 93 games.
Really? That's all you're going to say when you jumped on me on a low 80?
What do you mean?
93 out of 162?
That's a very good season.
See, okay, I guess so. So, well, yeah, I guess they're losing 69, 70 games there. Yeah, it's pretty decent. I was going to say a 96, but again, that's just 3 more games.
So you're gonna come at me for a 3-game difference? Yeah,
you're right. I'm sorry. I apologize. I've got them at 96 just because I think the addition and repeating. As far as once that you're there, it's difficult. Okay, now you belong. Your mentality changes a little bit. I think this is going to be the year that they could possibly make a good push to make it into the World Series. Put that in your Rolodex.
No, listen, if I knew what that was, I absolutely would.
Do you really still not know what that is?
Well, I know what it is now only because you guys are 65 years old and showed me pictures.
Whoa, 65. You know what? This microphone's really good if it picked him up because I got the door shut and everything.
You know what? You clearly invested in some good equipment there, Michael.
Yes, sir. 3 bags.
But that will wrap up my 30 and 15. Listen, Mike, I say that's what we call it. I think it's a brilliant name if I say so myself.
Well, it ain't yours; it's ours. Come on, man.
I came up with it. Let's be real here. Come on.
Well, that you did. I can't deny that.
You know what? Look at me right again. Unbelievable how I do this.
But at least I admit when you're right. Or when
I admit when you're right. It just doesn't happen, so I can't really do it.
Aaron Judge is not top 5.
Whatever helps you sleep at night.
There's no way.
No. There's a way, and it's very possible. But with that being said, before we wrap it up, I do have a little rant for today, Michael. As you know, we usually do this weekly type of thing, and it actually goes into something that we kind of talked about a little bit before in small market teams. And I know that you might be a little against me here because you are a Reds fan.
Definitely am.
But here's my problem with small market teams. Let's just look at somebody like the Colorado Rockies, who now there are reports that we're going to end up going back to the Mets once again, that they are interested in trading Nolan Arenado because they want to sign Trevor Story. Now, see, here's my problem. You just signed him to a 10-year contract. He's only in the 3rd year of that contract. You knew that Trevor Story eventually was going to be a free agent. And not only that, it's not like this came as a surprise like that Trevor Story was good. He's been pretty solid for a while. And this is not 1915 anymore. So I'm done with the excuses of we don't have enough money, blah, blah, blah. That's exactly why there's a revenue sharing in baseball now. It's so your small market teams can keep your star players. This isn't, back in the day where the Astros had to lose Carlos Beltran because they had absolutely no money. That's not what this is anymore. Teams that have enough money to keep their players. So I don't know why everybody has to roll back to the small market thing when there is revenue sharing. There's ways to keep your star players around. It's not only, the Yankees and the Dodgers and Red Sox and teams like that can keep their players because they have a lot of money. You know that your players are going to be up for free agency eventually. Nolan Arenado was just signed to the contract So you're telling me you're already looking at the contract and regretting it? There's no way that should be possible. I don't know how they can do it. I'm sure there's a possibility, but if they let Arenado go because they want to re-sign Trevor Story, I think that they're out of their minds. I would probably pick Arenado over Trevor Story anyway, so I don't know why you would trade him and not Trevor Story. That's a whole different problem for a different day. But I absolutely think that the whole small market thing is kind of played out at this point. And don't get me wrong, it's still a true statement for some teams. You look at the Rays, whose payroll is very small compared to other teams, even in their own division. But there should be no excuse that you can't keep star players around. It's only 2 players. It's not like they're trying to pay everybody on the team. It's Arenado and Story right now. Like, how are you not being able to save both of these players for your future? But Michael, come on. Why you're gonna yell at me for small markets now?
All I'm gonna say is that Tampa Bay, their whole team, I want to say made less than Betts did last year.
No way. That's not possible.
I want to say that stat was going around. Let me see if I can find it up. So which I know there was something crazy like that. Let's see here. Mookie Betts. Because I remember Alex even agreeing with me on that too. Let's see here. Golly, there's no way. Mookie Betts made $27,000. Well, that was his base salary.
There's no way $27,000 was his base salary. 27 million, maybe.
Oh, did I say? My bad. I'm sorry. You knew what I meant. Every time I put Bay, it changes to Bat. Let's see. Yeah, okay. I'm sorry. I'm wrong. I misquoted. Here it is. Sports News, MLB. Here's the page. It says the extension begins being paid. Okay. After Betts' final year of salary attribution. I still said it wrong. Arbitration. There we go. In 2020, Betts was due to earn $27 million in base salary in 2020 in a normal length season. That adjustment put down to $10 million. But let's see here. Where did it just go? Wow. Okay, Snell was their highest paid player at $10,005,000. So yes, I think that they were right at $29 million as a whole team. So I'm gonna have to do some more digging on that because that didn't have it worded the same way. That had something else there. But I'm gonna get with Alex too and see what I can come up with. Let's see.
Well, we'll find out on the next rendition of Backstop Banter because I'm very interested in that as well. Maybe next week we'll actually be talking about the Rays, so maybe we'll save that for next week anyway. If you know what I mean. So we're gonna have the poll posted. We're gonna see what team wins the vote. Michael, I think that's going to wrap us up for this week. But before we go, of course, we'll one more time pay the bills. I know I'm for sure looking at and paying attention to this Chargers and Raiders game right now very well because I might have a little something on. So make sure you go over to mybookie.ag. Oh, let's see. Look here. Let's take a look.
See if I can get it on that.
28 players in the Rays World Series roster combined to make $23.62 million in 2020.
And
interesting development.
Betts was going to make $27 million. So that's
but see, that's the thing. It all has to be wow. The Chargers really are going to win this game. That's insane.
Oh my goodness.
It has to be adjusted though, because in a shortened season, even Betts was making less money too. So they're comparing the entire team in a shortened season to one player in a shortened season.
I agree. That stat, reading that a little bit, it may be that they're saying that they made the $27 million this year in the shortened season compared to Betts.
What he would have made in a real season. Yeah.
Which that's apples and oranges. I don't like that. So I would agree with you on there. I'll have to do some more digging to figure that out.
I'm certainly watching this game as well right now. So make sure you head over to mybookie.ag, use code USN100 to double your first deposit up to $1,000 if you are into the betting world. Like I said, I certainly am. And if you are, make sure you check out, we have Bets Unwrapped, Alex, Corey, if you want betting, we probably got a lot of people on Unwrapped that you can go to. And then, like Michael's doing right now, with all of your betting money, you go over to Teespring/stores. Ow, I just bit my tongue. /stores/Unwrapped, and you buy some merch. You get. I wore my sweatshirt. I wore my sweatshirt today while I was shoveling. I will think about the TikTok, Michael. Don't you?
That has to be that you bit your tongue right there. It has to be.
Well, you know what? Maybe if you want it on TikTok, you'll have to post it. I know that won't ever happen because you guys don't know how to use it.
Oh, too old.
But make sure you check out our merch. I wore my sweatshirt shoveling. Michael's drinking some whatever it is right now out of his nice coffee mug. We got blankets. We got basically everything you want over at the Unwrapped store. So make sure you go and check that out.
My son, I have a shirt for my son that he wears some. I know there's even a mask that they've got that you can buy, leggings for girls.
Oh, I wore that. I wore my mask too.
You wore your leggings? That's good.
Well, yeah, listen, those too. I'm looking real good in them.
80s. Let me say it that way.
And then with your extra money, go over to rxhemp.com and use code RXHemp-USN to save you 10% on your entire order. They have the premium CBD products over there, so make sure you check them out as well. But that will wrap up this edition of Backstop Banter. Michael, what do you got for the people before we head on out?
Really, I mean, it's just this show. Basically, I know we like to promote everything else as we do other shows, but, follow me on Twitter, MDLawson00. Instagram's the same as well. And now I am obviously on TikTok as well, but go check out our TikTok for the Backstop Banter and the MLB page. It's Unwrapped MLB, correct?
It's Baseball USN or Baseball Unwrapped.
Okay, that's the name is Baseball Unwrapped, right? And then the
technical name is Baseball USN.
Right. Oh, I guess that's my fault. I keep looking at our background, seeing the MLB Unwrapped, but we're actually working on changing that as well, trying to rebrand ourselves. So be looking out for more, new logos, more logos as well. We are in the makes. We're probably about the 4th stage of making our Backstop Banter. Can't wait to release that. And that's when you definitely need to go on over to the teespring.com/stores/ouch, I bit my tongue, Unwrapped. So you can have the very first merch that drops with our Backstop Banter logo. Can't wait to have that out. We're looking to try to promote that on a t-shirt first and maybe even a mask as well. And who knows from there, sky's the limit. Basically that. And of course, our show, as we always say, Thursday, 10 p.m., sometimes 10 after 10 p.m. Again, want to thank Dalton Cornett. I'm sorry, it's 12 o'clock here almost. I'm sleepy. So thank Dalton Cornett for coming on and doing the show with us. He's already texted me, said he had a blast and he wants to come back on in a couple of weeks. So we look forward to that. I'm going to say this while we're signing off here. He said, sorry about my internet. We're actually at Myrtle Beach with my dad's basketball team. We're playing Coastal Carolina tomorrow. So thought that was interesting to hear. He's got that hotel internet going on.
Yeah, definitely not what you want sometimes. But yeah, as for me, make sure to just follow me on Twitter at Connie Chats. My personal account is Anthony Conover. And then, of course, me and Michael, as we do this show Thursdays at 10 Eastern, or, whenever Michael gets on. Because, let me just say, the last 2 weeks, I've been a little early to the show.
I'm sorry.
Man. Nah, it's okay. Listen, punctuality's never really been my thing anyway. It's kind of been a rare occurrence anyway. But you have that, and then, of course, for me as well, Mondays I go live with my guy, Josh Linares. My boy, my guy, my co-host, my friend, Josh Linares. Monday at 7 Eastern with Bliss Boys. Listen, if you have any suggestions on a name change, we're really looking forward to it because, we're just not creative enough to come up with one. And so we're trying anything here. But we go live 7 Eastern, talk about everything, football, basketball. I throw in baseball there. It's Josh usually writes in the Google Doc whatever Connie wants to say. So, it's kind of that type of situation.
Gosh, don't give him that. Don't give him that free.
Yeah, make sure you go and check us out. Check out the Bliss Boys podcast. If you ever miss anything, it's available everywhere, Spotify, Apple Music. I am working on a Backstop Banter one. I'm kind of waiting for our logo to be released, and then I will be turning these episodes into a podcast as well. But that's all I got. thank you everybody for watching the show. Like Michael said, shout out Dalton for coming on. It was very entertaining. You know, that's the thing about live. Sometimes it doesn't go always best, but I still think it was very, very good. If I say so myself.
I got it. Your name right here. Ready for it? Millennial Sports. Bam. There you go.
You know, Michael, we might look at it. We might look at it.
I could tell you're not into it.
Listen, hey, at this point, you never know. We're looking at anything.
What generation are they calling you all now? It's like they went from generation
Gen
Z sports. Ooh.
See, I'm not gonna lie. I originally pitched that at the beginning, and the sports was going to be a Z at the end instead of a S.
But, I like that.
See, that's what I said, but I got shot down. I'm not gonna lie.
What about Gen Sports with the Z?
You know, Michael, we're going to look at a lot of these things. Don't you worry.
Maybe Generation Sports, Z capitalized. I kind of like that too. I think we're getting there. You're welcome, guys.
That will wrap it up for this edition of Backstop Banter. Dalton, obviously, thanks again for joining us. Michael, it was a pleasure as always. Look out for the polls that we will post on the Unwrapped baseball account to see what teams we'll be talking about next week. But until then, I will see you later, and thanks for watching, everybody.